Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Haru, and I'm coming to you today with another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. So, if you guys haven't already, please hit that red subscribe button and smack the bell. So, today I wanted to talk to you guys about a question that someone asked me that I thought was a really good question. She said to me, or he or she said, I don't know if it was a guy or a girl, but it was somebody in the comment section. And they said, is fate real? Now, for purposes of this video, I'm going to say that fate is when something is destined to occur. That no matter what you do, it's going to occur because it is destiny. Now, she wanted to know, is fate real? And I'm going to tell you, yes, fate is definitely real. Some things are destined to happen, but everything isn't. Just some things. So I've done candle magic and cards and other forms of magic long enough to know that some things can be easily manipulated and some things cannot. For example, death and birth and your divine purpose, your divine mission, those things cannot be manipulated. When you're going to die, when you're going to be born, and what you should do while you're here, what you want to do while you're here. The contract, the soul contract that you created before you came in does not change. Now, some of you may or may not be familiar with this, but according to the experts, according to the gurus, we create a soul contract before we come into this earth. Some of you who've done a past life regression like I have may even remember parts of the soul contract. I remember talking to the Supreme Being about the contract. I didn't call it a contract. I just said, I want to go help. And the Supreme Being was like, nah, you can stay here. And I was like, but I really want to do this. I really want to go help. And I remember having this conversation right before I was born. So when you're born, when you're going to die, and what your purpose is does not change. You create that contract before you come in. So if you try to do something in life that's contrary to your purpose, it's not going to work out, or it's going to cause you great discomfort. And when it's time for you to die, you can't change that. It's time to go, it's time to go, you know? So for whatever reason, that part is destined when that's going to happen. Now, everything is not, though. So you get to pick and choose a lot of different things. I'll give you an example. When I talked about when you're born being destined, a friend of mine was telling me that her grandmother had 8 kids. Her mom is the youngest child. When her grandmother was pregnant with the 8th child, she decided not to have the baby. She decided that it was too hard. She already had 7 kids, 7 mouths to feed. Her and the kid's father, her grandfather, were going through some difficulties. He had cheated and they were fighting, and it was really bad at that time. So the grandmother decided to abort the last baby. She decided that, you know, she was going to go have basically a backwoods abortion is what they called it back then. So she went to some woman who was like the local witch doctor or whatever they call them, the local abortion person, whatever they called them back then. She went to her to have this, you know, abortion. The woman botched the abortion, didn't even get the baby. I don't know what she was down there doing, but she didn't touch the baby at all. So when the grandmother went home thinking that, you know, she was, you know, the grandmother thought the baby was gone. So she went home, went about her business, and noticed that she continued to feel funny. And after going to, you know, her real physician, she found out that she was indeed still pregnant. And she had the 8th baby. So the 8th baby is my friend's mother. So she was telling me how her mom grew up to be the one who took care of her mother, still takes care of her mother, takes care of the family, is the one that is the most successful in the family, helps out the other sisters and brothers. You know, the baby grew up to be the shining star of the family, quite frankly. And my friend was saying to me that it is always funny to her that she's the one she didn't want. And I'm like, she was destined to be here. She was destined to come. So in that case, that particular baby was destined to come. You see, for whatever reason. In this case, we see it's because she ended up actually being the one who took care of the family. So that's a case of destiny. Now, everything is not that, though. Everything is not, because like I said before, I've done enough cards to play with this. So when I first started doing cards, when I first started getting into tarot, one of the things that I used to do every day before I did anything else was sit and do my tarot cards. And I would pull one card for the AM, one card for the noon, and one card for the PM. And I would sit there and look at the cards. And if something was going to happen that I didn't particularly care for, I didn't do that thing. Like, let's say, for example, I'll give you a perfect one. One day, I remember this very clearly. One day, I was supposed to go to my mother's house to drop something off. I saw in the cards there would be a fight with my mother when I was dropping that something off. So, what did I do? I didn't go. I didn't go. I told her that I had something to do, and I went and did something else. And I waited a few days and then went and dropped it off. And everything was good. The air had cleared. Whatever attitude she had or whatever was going on had cleared. I dropped it off, gave her a hug, kept it moving, you know? Perfect example. Another example. Time when I was going to drop off my car. I used to have a Jeep Cherokee. I don't know why I bought that car. I think because it was sexy, but it gave me a lot of mechanical problems. But anyway, one day I was taking the Cherokee for yet another problem, and I saw in the cards that the mechanic was going to try to charge me up. And I always went to the place that was basically nearest my job. So in this case, I saw that, so I didn't go there. I went to the place that was near my house and got a regular price for everything. The mechanic at the other place, according to the cards, was planning to charge me up, which we all know some mechanics have a tendency to do that. But it was that one specifically, the one that was on the avenue, Henry Avenue. I remember it specifically. So I didn't go to Henry Avenue. I went to the one on Cheltenham Avenue. You see? So some things, like in this case, can be manipulated. When it's time for me to do candle magic, when somebody comes to me and they say, well, you know, so-and-so is going on, can you do a spell for me? The first thing I do is look at the cards to see if this can be manipulated. Because if it's destiny, I can't manipulate it. If it's not destiny, I can manipulate it. So, like I said before, the question about is fate real? Yes, fate is very real, but everything isn't fated. We have a lot of free will. We have mostly free will, as a matter of fact. Even the Christians talk about free will. Other spiritual systems talk about free will. We have mostly free will. It's only small things, I'm not going to call them small, but it's only certain things that are destined. Like I said before, life purpose, life, death, those things definitely. And some of the time something may tie into that has to happen. Like you may need to meet a certain person at a certain time to get pregnant by a certain time to have a baby that's going to do a certain thing, such as the cure for cancer. You see, or this baby that's going to come and, you know, unify your family, or this child that's going to come and one day grow up to be the CEO of the world, you know, things like that. So certain things are destined, but I would say most things are not. I don't run across a lot of destiny, to be honest with you. I run across a lot of things that are choice, a lot of choices. But like I said before, it really just depends on what's going on. And when you try to go against that fate, when you try to go against that destiny, when you try to go against something that's meant to be, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. No matter what you do, it just doesn't work. Some kind of way it comes right back to it. Like the mother with the abortion. She wouldn't have the abortion, but it was botched. You know, I remember another case that was similar to that I read in the magazine, and the woman had the abortion, and come to find out she had twins, and the person didn't see the second baby. So the second baby was born. You see? So that second baby was meant to be here to do something. And no matter what, you know, no matter what, that baby was coming. Now, somebody who is pessimistic can say, oh, that's just a coincidence. Come on, all these coincidences? I don't believe in coincidences, to be honest with you. Two things I don't believe in: coincidence and luck. Those are two things that a pessimistic person will tell you are the answers for a lot of things that happen in life that have spiritual basis. I don't believe in either one of those two things. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in luck at all. It's either a blessing, or it's a choice you made, or something you attracted or you manifested. And I don't believe in coincidences. There's too many probabilities in this planet for it to be all these coincidences all the time. That I don't believe that. So when it comes down to fate, yes, some things are fated and some things are just not. So you can change things. If something is going in a direction you don't like, you can change it very easily by making a different choice in most cases. Okay? Now remember, guys, if you have to ask somebody, you may as well ask an Aquarius. So if you have a question, please let me know in the comments or email it to me. Of course, I'll put my email underneath this video. Take care. Bye-bye.